What's going to be the outcome of this video? Firstly, let's have a look at the difference between care economy and the monetized economy. Secondly, let's see how can care economy be integrated with monetized economy through women empowerment. And thirdly, let's understand what skill is care economy offering. How is the care economy contributing to the society? Then finally, let's focus on who are all the stakeholders involved in this context and how is each stakeholder getting benefited from the idea of monetizing this care sector. Now, what is monetized economy? Monetized economy includes acts done for exchange of money. Say there are some products like car, perfume, mobile phone, tablet, laptop. So all these are products for which money is exchanged. When money is spent, these products are given to us. Or there are services like software services where these software professionals offer their coding skills in exchange for money. There are other engineers like civil and mechanical where they exchange their skills for exchange of money. There are banking services, there are insurance services, there are doctors. They offer their ability to treat people in exchange for money. So all these products and services involve currency transactions, and so here the work done is paid proportionately. Be it a service or product, there is proportionate payment to the work done as it is paid. So this is a paid work. Why is it paid work? Because the work is tangible. There is some immediate outcome that this work is generating. As the work is tangible, it is being paid. It is being paid, so it adds to GDP. So in the monetized economy, these products and services add value to GDP. As these acts can be quantified in terms of money, these are added to GDP. Whereas in care economy, as the name suggests, it is the part of the economy that includes activities like child care, then elderly care, then taking care of sick people, and some kind of domestic work, which are often done by women. Though things change these days, in general, these activities are predominantly performed by women, which require so much of emotional engagement. In addition to that, this care work is unpaid because the work done is intangible. It's not producing any direct results, so the work is not seen. As the work is intangible, the work is unpaid. As the work is unpaid, it is not monetized. So this is not added to GDP. And monetizing this care work is a way to integrate the care sector into monetized economy. But if we monetize this care economy at the family level, then there are many negative repercussions because there is a high chance for erosion of relationships, erosion of personal relationships due to loss of affection, loss of other emotional aspects that are crucial in personal relationships. So we shall see how can this be brought into an organizational level through an institutionalized framework. But before moving forward, think, when can we monetize something? When can something be monetized? We can monetize something when that particular product or service adds some sort of value either to a person or to an organization or to the society as a whole. So when a product or service is adding value either to a person or to an organization or to the society as a whole, then that is eligible to be monetized. Now, if we zoom in and see what is care economy offering, what value is care economy offering? One is time. So time of service provider. She spends her time to provide quality service to the client. Who are considered as clients here? The clients are the elder people, aged people, then the children, so all are the sick people. So all these are the clients, and the service provider is the women who is working in this care sector. And second value that is being provided is the emotional labor. This is in the form of emotional support and companionship. So companionship is provided to the clients by this service provider who is in this care sector. Now third, the expertise. So the service provider is offering so much of expertise and knowledge with respect to the improvement in the service so that the quality service is provided to the client. On top of that, this kind of care services demand a tailored care because each person needs to be dealt differently as per their unique needs that have to be catered. So each person has unique set of needs that need to be catered, and according to that, service needs to be provided. So there is a need for tailored and customized care. Fifth one, physical stamina. Sixth is the intellect. Seventh is the emotional intelligence. So time, emotional labor, expertise, tailored care, physical stamina, intellect, emotional intelligence, all are the values that the care service is offering, care economy is offering to the society. So it is adding value to the society, so it is eligible to be monetized. But how to do it? So now let's come to the question of the integration of care economy into monetized economy through women empowerment. First is to institutionalize the care work. So here we are talking about the women who are not employed in other monetized services and those women who are skilled in care services. In that, the first thing is institutionalization of care work through build up of proper infrastructure. There is a need for proper infrastructure to institutionalize such things. The second is creation of teams. Here, human resource is very much required so that each team performs its own work and then finally coordinate to provide the service to the client. And then we need to design a business flow starting from the enrollment of the client till the provision of service. There need to be a business flow that needs to be developed. And the second step that can be taken is to establish some industrial standards for care economy. Say, they can offer some certification programs. This is according to the level of expertise that the service provider is having. For example, there can be premium certification or plus certification or basic certification, or there can be gold certification. So the differences in these certifications is based on the level of expertise that the women is having, or the certifications can be based on the area in which that person is having expertise in. For example, in elderly care, so this can have a different kind of certificate. Child care can have a different kind of certificate, so that the person working here becomes a qualified and certified service professional. And third step is the training. This can be done through practical and experiential learning, because only practical learning can lead to professional service delivery and quality service delivery. So training is very much important. And the fourth step is building a support network. Building a support network helps, and there is a need for funds to execute all the above things that we saw, be it the infrastructure or creating certification programs or for training of the service providers. So for all this, financial support is very much needed. Also, finance is required to take the leverage of technology. Why is technology required? Because it helps to create more efficient and innovative solutions. And this financial support can be in the form of corporate social responsibility funds. Some of these funds can be diverted to these enterprises, and the grants from government and the grants from private, and provision of microfinance to such enterprises. So all these can be done to provide the financial support. And the fifth step is the research, because only through research we'll be able to know where to concentrate and what is the demography, what is the age of the population who is coming to the care sector, and what is the gender. So all these things can be known only when a proper research is done through data collection, then data cleaning, and then analyzing. And for analyzing of this data, to analyze the data provided by these data scientists and analysts, women can be hired here so that they analyze this data better. And women need to be trained to that level so that they can properly analyze the data provided. And sixth step can be the provision of incentives by government. This can be in the form of subsidies, or this can be in the form of tax-free grants. And also here comes the need to properly monitor such organizations so that these incentives and funds are not misused. So proper auditing mechanisms need to be incorporated. But before moving forward to the triple win situations, let's sum it up. Let's sum up all these slides that we have seen by taking a scenario. So say there is a company ABC that provides care services. So for that, government is offering funds. Corporate social responsibility funds are being utilized here, and this company is hiring women to provide the service and some technical professionals who can analyze this data and for creation of website and others. And the third is these certifications. This is to qualify people as certified service professionals. And these companies generally operate on fee for service models, fee for service. Okay, and so we saw the human resource, then we saw the finance part, then we saw the certification part, and then there is training, practical experiential training. And then proper research is to be done. Then we saw creation of teams. So teams creation and some marketing. So when all these things are done, more clients get attracted to. So this leads to business growth. So these things help business grow. There are such enterprises already, like you can see the care.com website. Then there is, in the recent past, Ratan Tata funded a startup named this Goodfellows. This is for elderly care. So Ratan Tata funded this startup Goodfellows, and this is for elderly care. Now let's come to who are all the stakeholders getting benefited from this monetization of care services. One is the women, and second is the society, and third is the economy. Now, how is women getting benefited from this? First is she is able to upgrade her skills. So that is leading to her satisfaction because of her contribution to the society. And second, she has become employable. As she has become employable, she is financially independent now. When she is financially independent, she is valued. When she is valued, she is socially recognized. So she has got some social recognition. And when all this thing is done, there is change in social perception, because traditionally these care services are undervalued. But when those care services are monetized, social perception changes. Now let's come to the second stakeholder, which is the society. The advantage to the society is that quality care is provided to the society, to be the elders or the sick people or to the children. When quality care is provided, society is getting benefited. Now the third stakeholder is the economy. So it is a win for economy. How? The profits of the enterprise. So enterprise profits are added to GDP, and the salaries are paid to these women who are working in these care services. So all these things are added to GDP. As the care got monetized and new job opportunities are created. So women is getting benefited, society is getting benefited, and economy is getting benefited. So what we saw the differences between care economy and monetized economy. Then we saw how to integrate care economy into monetized economy. And third, we saw what is care economy offering to the society. And fourth, we saw the triple win situation. Who are all the stakeholders getting benefited from monetization of care economies?